Sudden, man. What's up?
Oh, we're back.
We're back. Episode 3.
Who do we got in the episode? Who do we got in the episode 4?
Episode 4.
Who do we got in the episode today? Tell them who's coming.
Listen. Obviously, welcome back, everybody that's listening. We have a very important guest today. I guess I'll kick off by saying listen, we've all been friends for a long time. Myles is definitely no exception. Well, I gave it away right there. It's Myles. It's our friend Myles. But he's a really good friend of ours. I'm extremely happy to have him on. I think today's going to be really good. He's going to give us some really good insight on a lot of things. And I'm really excited I'm really happy to be able to call him a friend. And I'm excited.
I'm excited. Let's get him in here.
So let's get him in here. Let's go, Myles.
How you doing, guys?
There he is, Dr. Dockery.
Let's go.
Look who's here.
Yeah, give me a couple.
So excited.
All right, man.
Myles, let me tell you, the word had gotten out, and some people had heard that you were going to be on this week's episode. Seriously, those people had called me, and they said, you guys are going for your 4th episode. Why Myles? Do you think he's ready? Why him? And why now? That's what they said.
I don't know if I'm ready, man. This is intense. This is.
No, you are ready. You are ready. We know you're ready.
I mean, like,
truth be told, this is what.
Maybe I'd be able to handle like Joe Rogan or something like that. But you guys are.
Really? Really?
Oh, I've listened to the couple.
We do have 5-star ratings.
Yeah, we do. We have a higher star rating than Joe Rogan. Myles, truth be told, this is what I told each and every single one of those people. I said, I'll have you know, Myles is not only one of the smartest and hardest working people I know, he's also one of my closest and dearest friends. But the real reason,
this guy,
he's going to be on this week's episode is we're completely out of ideas.
That's it.
I knew that was
Myles, we're so excited. We've been talking all week about this episode. We're so excited.
Yeah,
we usually do.
Listen.
Yeah,
We usually don't start planning for an episode until I don't hear anything about the episode until about 2 days before. But this week, last Sunday, we were really on the game. We were getting ready, coming up with questions. So listen, we're really happy to have you here, man.
Just for me, man. That's too much.
The episode, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
things are a little Myles. Things are a little different this week. Paulo usually gets a bunch of questions and he asks them to us that we haven't seen yet, and we answer them. But this week we're gonna do a little interview style. So Bones, why don't you ask him our first question?
Yeah. So we have a few questions. Obviously, I told you we're gonna ask kind of like an interview style. So I really wanted to open up with a good, strong question. I think it's something that you know a lot about, and I think it's something that you can definitely help us open our minds to. So my first question for you is, give us a little insight about Juilliard French Immersion School.
The man is famous. The man. What I didn't know, Paulo, is that everyone who went to Juilliard French School somehow migrated and ended up in Montreal. I don't know.
And knows Myles. Every single one of them.
Knows Myles.
Every single one of them.
Hilarious.
I was getting myself ready to not laugh because I thought you were gonna ask a serious question.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point of what I do.
Yeah, Juilliard. No. When I first moved to Vaughan, my parents sent me to Juilliard because I was in French immersion back when I lived in Mississauga. So I came to Juilliard in grade 4, and I left halfway through grade 5 because that shit was intense. I wasn't ready to do math and science and French. These guys were on a different level.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so I was only there for like a year and a bit, but after I left, I don't know, like I walk around where I live sometimes and I see people that I don't recognize, but they see me and they know exactly who I am.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In grade 4 Juilliard, and I'm just like, yeah, because I guess it's like that's how I know like I haven't changed. At least like my facial features have remained like pretty much the same to like how I've been to grade 4.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it's crazy. Yeah, I didn't. When I heard that story, I didn't believe it at first. Myles, what is the extent of your French language now? Because Bones and I, we speak a little bit of French, right, Bones? Vraiment,
Well, I
vraiment,
don't.
right?
Vraiment,
I,
vraiment.
I could promise
That's
you
about as far as it goes, Myles.
my French is probably just as good as yours now. Like I don't think I could even come up with a sentence
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah, that's
like
rough.
Well,
back to
listen.
the day,
Yeah. After we record the episodes, but before Paulo uploads them, Bones
Yeah.
and I always post a little teaser on our stories of a picture that has some relevance to do with the episode, right?
Yeah.
But because we
Okay.
knew you were coming on this episode, we were going through our pictures, new tech, the cottage, and stuff like that, and we found the picture of the three of us and you, so Paulo as well, and we're in the cottage, we're on the big bed in the cottage, and we're laughing, and I'm like, man, I wonder what was happening in this photo. So I kept scrolling, and then to the left, just before that photo had been taken, it was just you, Paulo, and I on the bed, and we were laughing. Bones wasn't in the picture, and I was like, I remember what was happening. The three of us without Bones, we were in the big bedroom, and I was singing Ophelia by the Lumineers. Oh, Ophelia. Everyone knows the song. And I guess Bones, to our listeners, Bones had heard that we were singing the song and he wanted to come join in. He wants to come join in. So he comes into the big bedroom and he goes, necrophilia. It's crazy. And you had to explain that the song was a Shakespeare reference, not the attraction of dead people, obviously, right? Hilarious.
My God.
I don't think I laughed harder than that that day.
That's one of the most times I've ever laughed. But yeah, we're gonna post a photo. If anyone wants context, that's what it is. Hilarious.
Anyways, moving on from that, because that's a little dark.
It's a little dark.
I actually have a real question. So obviously, to those of you guys that don't know, we've spoken about the Brains Project before, and Myles is actually working with the Brains Project.
Myles, what's your title? Let him say his title.
I'm the director of external relations over there.
Oh, whoa, okay.
Professional. Anyway, so listen. So like I've said, we've shouted them out before. They actually did a little piece on Myles a little while back. So I just wanted to read kind of part of the of your quote, and maybe you can give us a little bit of insight behind it. So I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna start halfway through. We say, when I was 14, I found myself with my back on the ice, looking to the roof of the rink, not knowing what happened. That was probably my 5th or 6th concussion at the end of my competitive hockey career. I was forced to quit the game I had become so incredibly fascinated with by my neurologist and parents. I cried for weeks. Throughout high school, I suffered a couple more concussions from other recreational sports. So kind of just give us a little bit of insight, like what's going on, maybe kind of run us through how many concussions you've had, like what's going on.
I probably had around 8, I guess. I don't know exactly, but that's like just what I can remember, but probably had a couple more. And the reason for that is like I'm sure everyone knows, like once you get one, you just become prone to a bunch.
Right.
I probably had my first concussion when I was in grade 5 or 6. I was just, I was playing for the Toronto Avalanche.
So young.
Yeah. I was pretty young, and I fell on my back. That's not what I was talking about in the quote, but that was my first one.
Yeah.
Like I hit the back of my head, and I didn't think anything of it. And then I was like playing with my friend afterwards, and I remember getting in the car with my dad, and we were driving home, and I just got this intense migraine, and like my started to get nauseous, and I couldn't look at the lights, and I got home, and it was the worst thing. I think that might have been the most pain I've ever been in. And it was weird because it came like an hour or two after I had I'd fallen.
Right.
And that was my first one. And then I just got I think I went back into action way too quick, and I just got a couple more. And then the last
couple
one
more, right.
was I was playing for the AA Humberview Huskies. Must have been grade 9 and grade 8. And I was skating back to the bench, and out of nowhere, I was hit from behind, and I, I I was told that I did like a 180 and hit my head on the boards. I don't know.
Jesus
And
Christ.
I just remember from that moment is just laying on my back and looking up and just like I saw my dad and my coach over me, and they're like, Myles, and I just kept like going, I'm okay, 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 and like because I just wanted to get back on the ice, but I had no idea what happened.
What had happened, right? We want to thank you for sharing that story, Bones. Thank you for reading that quote. Kids, listen, it's important to understand Myles isn't a victim, but a survivor.
Nice. Nice way to put it.
Thanks, son. Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, seriously, thank you for sharing that story. Bones, what else did you have to ask him?
Yeah, so we have a few other questions as well. So I think I'll kind of I'll kick off by saying I guess we'll stay keen to the concussion subject. So I guess we'll start off by saying how did they like how have your concussions impacted you? Like obviously short term, long term. You know, it's been a long
Well,
time since you've had one, so like what's going on?
Yeah.
yeah, short term is probably just like, like not being able to, be out there with my friends playing hockey and shit like that. And like obviously the headaches and like I was missing school, and it was just like I
Right.
remember short term it was like I couldn't concentrate in class, and I was just like it's couldn't focus on anything. And it wasn't like that before. I never was like that before, but things got just increasingly everything got harder for me. I would get mood swings like
Yeah,
out of the blue. I couldn't run or do simple things without getting a headache. And I've gotten better over time because I haven't really been involved in any serious sports like that require like aggressive nature or anything like that. I'm just sitting on my ass doing school these days. So,
yeah,
but long term, I do get frequent migraines. If like regardless if I get enough sleep, if I drink enough water, if I eat, I get migraines if I read too
Well,
much.
tell us what happens when you get your migraines, because I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, I have migraines," but some people have to be
Um,
completely in the dark, and others
yeah,
people it's not
no,
as bad.
it's really debilitating because it's like you want to focus on something. You're trying to do your schoolwork, you're trying to get this shit done, and it's just like it feels like a stabbing pain behind your eye, and it just
yeah,
starts to radiate through your head, and it's just like you can't do anything. Like you try to push through and you're like, okay, maybe it'll go away, and then you just like realize it's not going away, and you just have to shut everything down. You have to lay down for a while in the dark, and yeah, maybe take some Tylenol or ibuprofen, something like that. And yeah, yeah, I deal with that
Yeah.
pretty often, especially when like
Well,
high stress situations. But yeah.
yeah.
definitely. Well, that was a great question. That was a great answer, Bones. Bones and I wanted to ask: had you not had the concussions, how do you think that impact? How do you think would you be different? How would it
Yeah.
be different?
Um, yeah, I think so. I think the whole concussion thing has just like really been, especially in my younger years, like it really impacted my education, my schoolwork, and just like my childhood in general. Like it took me away from the sport that I loved a lot. I never, every kid dreamed of going to the
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
but like I
Yeah.
was good enough, but I like to play competitively, and I remember that being taken away from me.
I never dreamed of going to the NHL. I was more of a big
Oh
tennis
yeah,
guy.
I know, yeah.
Big tennis guy.
Huge. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, definitely.
He's not joking.
Um, I'm sorry that got the saddest thing in life is wasted talent, right? But I
Yeah.
think it's for the best, and we genuinely do
Oh,
think that you're doing a great thing with the brains
absolutely.
and everything, dealing
Yeah.
with what you dealt with.
And and
What?
for the
Yeah.
people out there watching or anything like that, like I wouldn't change the decision to take me away from hockey or competitive sports, because looking back, hindsight 2020, that was the best decision to make when your brain has got to be a top priority, right? There's no brain transplants. Like you can't take that back, right?
There's no brain transplants. You only get one. I love the way you put that because I don't think a lot of people realize that.
Yeah.
Myles, going a little bit away from the concussion topic, I read a study this past week, and I said, as soon as I read it, I thought of you. And I said, this couldn't have come at a better time because I have to talk about this on Friday. I read a study that said an increasing amount, a growing rate of senior citizens, Bones, in seniors' homes, are having sex with each other. They're having sex with each other. And because you're pre-med, we wanted to ask you, what do you think about that? What are your thoughts?
Oh my God. I just want to go off the record and say that I had no idea that he was going to say that. If I had known, I would have told him not to. Oh my
Amazing.
God.
When I read that, first I was like, this is so forward. Forward. But then I realized, because Bones, I think we're all afraid of getting older, but it's nice to know that these people are still, living.
We're living in progressive times.
Listen, Myles. You know what? Listen, I don't think you need to answer that question. I think that's. I
want to know. So he's gonna answer it.
Please don't.
I got no idea how to answer this.
I have no idea.
Just say it's great that they're having fun still, and we'll move on from that because that's too much, man.
Bones, do you ever get afraid? Do you ever get afraid of getting old, getting older?
Yeah, all the time, 100%. I mean, it's.
Well, I think now you don't have. Now you don't have to be.
Okay, now you don't have to be. I was going to give a serious answer, but thanks. No.
Give us your serious answer. Let's hear it.
Yeah, obviously.
Hold on. I have a question though.
Yeah, Myles.
How do you find that study?
I think that's a great question.
That's because it just like did it just pop up on your little Google thing, like just like seniors having sex at increasingly high rates?
No, I searched it. I searched it up.
It's not on the news. It was on CP24.
Oh.
It came up. I didn't go searching for it, you freak. I didn't go searching for it. It came up in class.
Man, this is God.
Listen. Let's move past this because this is too much. Listen,
Bones, are you afraid of getting older?
Yeah, of course I am. Well, I don't know if everybody is. I would assume everybody is, but yeah, 100%.
Definitely everybody is.
Like shit. I mean, I'm living the life right now, man. I got a podcast with two of my best friends. Come on, it doesn't get any better than that, So
we are living the life, and the scary thing is that we're 19 turning 20, and our year kind of got curtailed by the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
But Myles, guys, imagine if we were 23 turning 24 or 24 turning 25.
Yeah,
how much worse that would have been.
Yeah, because we're already.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Bones, 23, 25. Where do you see us in 4 or 5 years, Myles?
Well,
Vegas, baby.
Vegas. Yeah, well, it depends who gets. Listen, when somebody gets married, yeah, that's the plan, Vegas. So that's why that's why I see myself in 4 years in Vegas, in a hotel room in Vegas.
Hangover part.
Hangover one.
So messed up. Like, yeah, just that's where I see myself, to be honest. But anyways, listen, we'll move on. Listen, I have a serious
move on
as well. So obviously we'll kind of take a step away from the concussions. So to everybody who doesn't know, Myles is studying to be a doctor.
He's pre-med.
Yeah, he's studying pre-med. He's at UFT. Already hard enough as it is. But the question that I really wanted to ask for you was, being that you want to become a doctor, if you could cure any disease in the world, what would it be?
Right now, snap of a finger, what would it be?
God, I mean, I could say cancer, but cancer is over 100 different diseases. There's over 100 different types.
Yeah.
And
But would you cure cancer?
If you could cure all cancer.
I think, I think, yeah, I think I cure it. Like if
Okay.
I had the ability to cure all the cancers, because that's just like over 100 different diseases.
That's fantastic. So you don't care about people with HIV or COVID.
Oh
That's
my
funny.
God.
Paulo, add him in the call. Add him in the call. Because we have, it's funny you said that, because we have Tom Hanks and Magic Johnson in a waiting room, and they're gonna come.
Let's go, Irvin. Let's go. Get in here, buddy.
Cancer. That's Miles. That's a great answer. Cancer.
Yeah, I think honestly, I would agree. I think cancer is probably the best choice.
Tell us a little bit more why cancer.
Well, I think cancer is just extremely, like, people like to. I heard a lot of different comments, weird comments, out through TikTok and social media, where it's like, oh, it's, these doctors and immunologists to cure COVID in for 1 year, but yet we still don't have a cure for cancer, and people are just like, oh yeah, that's facts, that's facts. But when you take a step back and you look at it with some background knowledge, you understand that cancer is one of the more complex diseases that there is, because it's not just a single stream type of disease. It's a disease that can become or be the result of multiple different mutations in our genome. And so that's why, like, cancer is so it's like, to this day we still don't have a necessary, like, a particular cure for it, because it's a broad disease.
Yeah, you can't just cure cancer, right? Like there's breast cancer, there's kidney cancer, there's so.
And then you take a look at breast cancer, and you take a look at kidney cancer, like all these different cancers, and then it's like
completely different.
One cancer can be caused by multiple different mutations.
Yeah, and it's hard too, because it's like you're not just like, with lung cancer, you're focusing on the lungs, which is already a significant organ, but when you're looking at the liver, it's like it's a completely different organ. It's not the same process at all, right? So I get what you're saying. It's tough, right?
So many different angles you can look at cancer, and that's why it was really pissing me off, because I'm just like, dude, like, you don't even have to, like,
You can't say that. You can't say that.
One Google search to learn, to, like, read up just on general information about cancer, and just be like, oh, okay, I get it. And then you look up how they came up with the cure for COVID, which is like a fund that was
The virus.
worldwide, the combination
Right.
of the smartest people in the world, and it's a single virus. It's not like 100 different diseases. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're frustrated with that. Miles, a while back you told me about this story that some 65 plus year old doctor, some 7-year-old doctor, tons of money, retired, and he went back to the front line. You remember the story? He went back to the front line to help out with COVID, and he ended up passing away from COVID because he contracted it, saving people. Obviously, that acted as a catalyst in wanting to become a doctor. I'm not pursuing a doctor, and that made me want to become a doctor. So tell us what do you think about that story, and what else made you want to become a doctor?
Well, it's funny that you talk about this, because, like, I was just actually finished writing an application, talking about why I pursue medicine in the future. But relating to that particular story, I remember that, and I remember thinking, I'm like wow, yeah, like, doctors, people always think about becoming a doctor, and they associate it with, large pay, and, being smart and whatever, and just like the prestige. But I think in order to be a successful healthcare practitioner, or a doctor in particular, you have to have that selflessness behind you. Like, that is key.
Definitely.
Right? You have to have that selflessness and that benevolent type of nature in order to succeed in that career choice, to live up to your potential and to be the best you can as a doctor.
Absolutely.
And that story really just like hit me. It's just like, there's no need for you to go back. You're 60 years old. You're retiring. You have, a good amount of money. You could just like settle down somewhere, stay safe, and you'll be okay. And especially being a senior, you're even more at risk to contracting the disease and it being fatal. And you're a frontline worker. Yeah, you're you're a healthcare.
He's at risk. The guy's at risk.
He's it's not even at risk. Like, we're all at risk, but that's just huge, right? And
Definitely.
you go back willingly to
That's true.
to fight it on the front lines. I think that's just
A phenomenal story. Phenomenal story.
Yeah. It really is. And the thing is, it's like, that's just one example, but there's so many different big stories like that that aren't really covered in the news because it's happening so frequently, not just with doctors, but with nurses and paramedics and just like all these people who are up close and personal with the COVID-19 disease.
Well, listen, even like, correct me if I'm wrong, even there's a player on the Kansas City Chiefs who took last year off, right? Didn't play in the Super Bowl. And he's a doctor. I'm pretty sure, or I don't know if he's a doctor or if he wanted to finish studies, whatever. But he took the season off, right? Like he went. I think he's Canadian too, or something like that. He took the year off. Okay, so there you go. Right?
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, right? I don't know if he was a doctor already or if he was just in the process of becoming one, but like you said, right? It's just kind of like the selflessness and wanting to be there to help other people, and I think it's an important aspect. Especially, I think it's an important aspect for everybody, but specifically doctors, right? Like you always, like you said, right? Like it's kind of something you have to be willing to put yourself out there and to kind of risk everything. Right? So it's definitely it's a great occupation, but I think it's definitely something. I think doctors are kind of people that we can learn from, right? Like you said, they're always they're putting everyone else before themselves. So I think it's great.
Yeah,
those guys are superheroes. Myles, do you remember the because some people have this exact moment when it was like, this is when I realized that was what I wanted to do. Do you have one of those?
You know what? I guess for those of you that don't know, but I was actually diagnosed with like enthesitis related arthritis when I was younger, in my hips and my sacroiliac, which is a joint like in the back, and I was in the hospital a couple times a month, and I was writing about this. Is weird that you bring it up, but just seeing those guys go to work and the way that they develop connections with you is at Sick Kids, and the way that they're just so compassionate and they're so dedicated to solving problems and helping other people, that really inspired me as a young kid. And also, I just had an interest in science as well throughout elementary school and high school, and just seeing those guys go to work and seeing them in their workspace just really inspired me. And I think that was definitely a spark that pushed me to pursue science and right now. And I'm pre-med right now. I really want to apply to med school in the future. I'd also be open to doing some type of research, scientific research, cancer research, something like that in the future. Anything
that's fantastic.
That's related.
Yeah. Well, listen, Myles, before we wrap up here, I have one more question for you. I think this is kind of something to kind of, ease off of the serious talk that we've been having. I guess it'd be kind of interesting to know, if you weren't pursuing to become a doctor, what would you want to do? Is there anything maybe from when you were a kid? Is there anything now even that you're interested in that you would want to do?
You know what? Probably history. I'm a big fan of history.
Yeah, you're a big history guy. I was gonna say.
I like that stuff. I took a history class first year and I did pretty well, and I like that type of stuff. So and I always bother my girlfriend with random facts about crap, and I don't know, she just like pretends to be interested in it. But like I like, if I could educate myself more about things that happened in the past, important historical events, that'd definitely be something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Myles, we're gonna wrap up, but before you go, greatest doctors of all time. Number 1, the Good Doctor. Number 2, Dr. Phil. Who's 3?
Dr. Seuss.
I think.
Shut up the last episode. Green eggs and ham, man.
This guy's nuts. This guy's crazy. Myles, what do you say to people? Myles, what do you say to people that say, I don't need a Ph.D. to know how to perform surgery. I watch Grey's Anatomy.
What?
Because my co-host,
people say
you've
that?
said that.
I never
You've
said
that before.
I never said that.
Bones has watched Grey's Anatomy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he said it before.
No,
well,
but
I tell them that they're absolutely right. Grey's Anatomy is just basically you could save yourself about like $100,000.
Yeah, listen, I've seen an appendectomy be performed on Grey's Anatomy. I basically know how to do it now. So step aside.
It's as simple as that.
I believe you.
Step aside. I'll take the scissors from here. Okay.
It's as simple as that. Bones and Myles, some of my two best friends who also happen to be doctors. Myles, we're gonna wrap this up. But Bones, Paulo, and I, we want to thank you for coming. Yeah. We want to thank you for doing the show. We're so proud of what you've already accomplished, and we can't wait to see what you're gonna do next. We're always gonna be in your corner rooting for you. And if you ever lose sight of that, just remember, you guys are the real heroes. All right.
That's it.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks, Myles. We'll see you.
See you.
God.
Good guy, man.
I hate that guy. I hate that guy.
Okay. It's funny how as soon as he leaves, I have nothing good but good things to say. And the first
that's the difference. That's the difference between me and you. Bones, guys, episode 2, to all our fans, to all our listeners, you guys have made it this far. We thank you guys for coming along for the ride. We love you. On behalf of Paulo as well, can't forget about our producer.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want to say something real quick before we end the episode.
Yeah.
Paulo's mom just texted me and she said, I got your family Krispy Kreme donuts. I'll leave them in the garage. It's open. So thank you so much to Patty.
Amazing. Shout out, Patty. We love you. We love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next episode.
Later, guys.